You're listening to the Barretta Brothers, two of us. For best results, use both ears.
Oh, yeah. What is that? That's like the chicken mousse putsu move. It's like, yeah. Mousse putsu. I feel it. You know, remember Nana used to call it a mousse putsu?
Tell them what that is.
It's like when you were in a bad mood and you make like a grumpy face.
She used to grab our face and go, ooh,
mousse putsu.
Do you like my shirt? Speaking of music.
I do, Mr. Guitar Man.
Yeah, but
Very
want to
cool.
see something really special?
What?
Watch this.
Really now? Huh.
You can tune it too, because this is like the neck of the guitar,
Right.
and the head of the
Then
neck,
you tune it?
and this is where you
Oh, you
tune
can
it.
tune
Watch
it with
this.
your...
Yeah, watch. Okay, so here's the
What are you going to do
going
then?
backwards here.
Yeah.
Watch, I'll tune the bass string. Ready?
You're not on that.
Go.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. How does that happen? Oh, boy. What they won't think of. Very interesting.
Technology.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
You can buy one of these on our website.
No, Gene, you can't.
I'm trying to get them to go to the
Oh,
website.
yeah. By the way.
It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something else besides going to the website. Go to GeneBarretta.com and
Yeah.
look at his stuff. You can buy books for your family, for your friends, for your kids, for your nieces, for your nephews, grandkids. There's great books. And you're not buying them? Why wouldn't you buy them? And there's artwork. You can get artwork there. You can get artwork. If you call, if you write into his website, you can get stuff.
Hey, wait, shut up. Go to YouTube. Go to Jules Little Gems. Laugh, learn.
You can laugh and learn.
Just go.
The hell with it. You know what? The hell with it.
No, listen. I got to do one more thing. Go
What?
to the BarrettaBrothers.com.
I don't care.
There you can see.
No,
What?
I don't care. They don't have to see photos. They don't have to see videos. They don't have to go there.
No, they don't need to see the past episodes.
I
Don't
don't care.
go.
You know, better yet, don't go.
Do us a favor. Better yet, turn this off right
Yeah,
now. Watch. Don't
shut
even-
it down. Shut it all down. We got great artists coming up that you're not even going to see. So turn it off. We got Stuart Reeves from England. We got
Yeah.
James V. Carroll from up near San Francisco area. We
In
got
San Francisco.
Kenny Durkin. Well, we don't want to give away where they live necessarily, Gene. We got Kenny Durkin in Florida. We got Dave Hulteen Jr. from Jersey.
Jersey, and not just Dave Hulteen. Dave Hulteen Jr.
I said
Dave
Junior.
Hulteen. That's what I'm saying. You don't just get Dave Hulteen.
Oh, I see.
You get Dave Hulteen Jr., which is a
Yeah.
Dave Hulteen with a little bit of
Yeah,
extra.
but you know what? They don't care. So don't watch. Turn it off. Had enough.
I'm just gonna sit here.
You know what? That's fine. And you know what? While we're sitting here, I mean, why don't we just, you know what I'm thinking? How about we give something away? But they're not going to get it if they don't watch. All right? You're not going to say anything? All right. Here's what we're going to do. You know what we did? We had all of the artists draw something really special together. We asked them if they would, and they were so kind to do it that now we have something. Gene, why don't you show them what they're not going to get now?
You know what? Just to spite them, I'm gonna show them.
Go ahead.
Check this out.
Yeah, you see that? See the big guy on the left? Yeah, that's Kenny Durkin. That's his artwork. You see the little butterfly in front of his face? I drew that. You see the little guy below the big guy? Yeah, Ben Barretta, Gene's son, drew that. And then you go to the right? Yeah, that's a James V. Carroll original. And then over you go to right one more? That's a Jackson Barretta original, the little guy with the top hat. You go up, Gene Barretta made a marionette. Okay? And you're going to go up top to the right? Guess who that is? Stuart Reeves. And then down below, okay, you got your Dave Hulteen Jr. But you know what? You don't have to have it.
No.
Yeah.
You know how you would get it?
No, how are they going to get it?
Allow it? You go to the website, thebarrettabrothers.com, and you join the mailing list.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but guess what?
What? Fine.
No,
you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, they could get a digital version if they would have put their, email in there and join the mailing list. But you know what? Maybe it's too late, Gene. Maybe we should just think about it. Right? And you know what? You know what else I was thinking? I'm thinking we could give other stuff away, and maybe we shouldn't.
What else will we
I don't
give
know.
away?
I'm thinking like, how about, yeah. All right. How about this? Here's an oldie but goodie. Maybe we don't give this away. What if I signed it and then kept it?
That's an idea.
What are you gonna get?
How about this?
What?
I'm gonna double that. I'm gonna put in. I could offer a signed copy of my book, Jack the Tripper, but I may not do it.
May not send it, right? Well, wait a minute. Before we say that, what would we do how would they get it? And then we can pull it back.
If we were gonna send these,
how could we do it?
We'd make them subscribe to the YouTube page,
subscribe
YouTube channel.
Subscribe. Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right.
Subscribe.
This is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna say another word. They can go to the YouTube channel and subscribe so that we would have their name on a list and randomly choose the winners of these books. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll wait till after the show. Maybe we watch the show, and if they're still around, then maybe we decide if we want to do what we think we want to do.
It's in our court.
I like it that way. All right, so next week, on the 25th of July, we're going to have Danny Trejo.
Those were our workshop. We're workshopping some characters.
Oh, I'm not done. I am not done.
Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Next week, we're having on the 25th of July, a very special Danny Trejo show.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a badass. Okay. He's a badass in the movies. He's a sweetheart in real life.
That's right. And we're going to spend some time with him because he's got a beautiful documentary out called, what is it? Inmate Number One.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe I did some time with this guy.
And he's going to talk about Trejo's Taco. He's going to talk about a lot of stuff. He's a friend of the Muppets, for Christ's sakes. So we're going to do that. And
not only are we going to do that.
Yeah.
Next on that show, the same show, we're going to have some special guests, surprise guests that I know you're going to want to see.
God forbid. All right.
As long as we put on
this. As long as we decide we're going to do it.
We may end it right
That's how
here.
I feel. So I think we just watch the show now.
Like I said, I'm just going to hang out and do nothing.
All right. So you know
what? They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
Up to here now. All right. So maybe let's just see what happens.
Maybe we switch over to the other Gene and Billy. Maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Live Us. Thanks, Live Us.
Yeah. Oh, they're always the better pair, aren't they?
Yes. Absolutely.
I aspire to be more like my live self.
Yeah, I like to be live.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it. But first, Gene Barretta, I'd like to show a few things of your work. I know we have some incredible artists here today, but I think we should show a few things of yours. What do you think? Would you mind we show a few things of yours?
I say we go for it. I draw and I color.
And ever since we were little, that's all Gene has done is draw. So let's bring up, actually the first thing I thought we could bring up, I wanted to show are when you did some storyboards for Muppets from Space. So here's the first one. Here's a scene where Kermit is in the kitchen. I thought these were kind of fun because, you know, the way they changed actually ultimately when we did the movie. But that one scene when he's in the kitchen, I think that's where he thought he heard the Mayhem Band coming in I can't remember actually, to be honest. But anyway, I like what you do with the head.
Where is everyone?
Yeah. And I like.
And so, as everybody would know, these are quick drawings. These aren't polished. Get every accurate proportion right. You're just you're working quickly, and you've got all these directional arrows in there to show where they move and where they look, and it's very technical. It's meant to be a guide for the people working on the set
and the director, so that you're also talking about what side of the camera are you on. What's the so here, this one is the card game, which if you look at this shot, Rizzo was on the other side of the table, and we actually, right, so Pepe was at the head, and they were actually flipped ultimately. Wait, what's
I don't know if they ever even looked at the storyboards when they were on the set.
But yeah, so that's where Rizzo gets the aces and they catch on fire. Let's bring up another one. This one I love because we thought we had Robert Stack, and I think it just unfortunately didn't happen. But he was supposed to be in it. Gene, what's this from? Between the Lions, right?
Yeah, after I worked on Sesame Street, I kind of graduated over to working on Between the Lions. A lot of people who worked with the Muppets and Sesame Street were working on that show as well, and I did a lot of art I did some of their books and some behind the scenes style guides of the characters, and I don't know what this was actually ever used for, but they gave me the assignment and I did it, and I don't know where it ended up, but that's Artie Smarty Pants and the Lion family.
Here they are. Here's the family, right?
Yeah, that was from one of the books.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the books.
Here's some designs for puppets that you did. Two of my favorite characters that Brian and I got to do, Auggie and Dell. They were huge, not in popularity, but they were
right.
But they were huge.
I mean, you could have been inside of them. That's how big they were.
Yeah, they were enormous.
They were both sides.
I love their faces. You created these great faces.
You did. They did 2 pilot episodes, which was fun to see, and the great Fred Willard was in one of them.
Yeah. Here's Bobby Vegan and Samson Knight. 2 other characters I would love to be doing with Brian. Thanks. I love these characters. And then oh, you're welcome. And then finally, my favorite Sesame Street animation.
Yeah, right.
It is.
No, I did 5 animated shorts for Sesame Street, and this was all about the things in space that begin with the letter C. And there's the captain and the chimp and the sea, and there's the capsule and the constellations and all that sort of stuff.
The caffeine.
Caffeine. Canker sore.
Yep. Yep. Come on, let's bring on our friends here. We've taken too long. Right.
Well, listen, we better bring on Stuart because it's getting late over there in jolly old England.
He's impatient.
I know he's nervous, so if he starts to sweat, just write it off to nerves.
I hope he's close to camera so we can see if he's sweating.
I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to let him talk about the things he's done.
Great.
So why don't we bring on one of our 4 wonderful artists, Stuart Reeves. Stuart.
Hey, Stuart.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. How are you both?
Lovely.
Now, hold on, before we start,
yes.
Dean promised me that if I did this, that he'd get either Hugh Grant or Dame Judi Dench to do the voice in ADR.
You're so posh.
But this one's good, though, the one you're doing now. This is a good one.
Yeah. I'll work this one for a while.
Yeah, this is good.
Hey, can I just start before we see the drawings? A lot of you may recognize Stuart from an early episode of Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. I was going to say Fear Factor UK.
We're not kidding. Please tell us a little bit about that experience.
Genuinely, 2-3 times a day I'll get recognised for Fear Factor. Well, I don't really know what to say. It was a bet that went wrong.
What did you have to do? What did you have to do on Fear Factor? Did you eat something you didn't want to eat?
Yeah, of course. It's Fear Factor.
I know, but what?
A nice buffet, but I had to eat some live sea anemone, then I had to jump from 2 speedboats going at 30 kilometers an hour, one to the next.
There's great footage of him. But wait, he says it like he made the jump. He jumped and he slammed into the side of one and fell in the water.
Oh, man. I think what you would be recognized most for is that show that you have been working on. Gene, do you want to... His show?
You mean the executive producer of Fork Cop?
Yeah.
A creator as well.
Creator.
Can you pitch it to Billy, please?
Right, okay. Well, have you ever seen the movie Signs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know the scene where the guy's wife gets pinned against... Yes. Mel Gibson's wife gets pinned against the tree, and they say to Mel Gibson, sorry, your wife's going to die if we move the car out.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought to myself, I was watching that film, you know, when the tow truck arrives, how many times must she have said, knowing that she was going to die when the car comes out, no, wait, I don't want you to take the car away. So I thought, why didn't they just glue it to the hood of the car? So then, when I was a kid, I watched this documentary called RoboCop, and I found that what they do is that there's some police officers that have had a bit of a rough time.
Yeah.
They've started melting them with robots and anything. So I put the two ideas together. You know, there's no original stories this day and age. There are always like an amalgamation of different stories. So anyway, the Fork Cop is basically a police officer on a
half a police officer. Half a police officer.
No.
Fork Cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he basically, in the line of duty, somebody comes through with a forklift truck, cuts him in half.
Yeah.
His body flies in the air and it lands on the top of a forklift truck. And so, give up, Gene. This is serious.
I'm listening.
I'll be the one laughing last.
I'm listening.
So he's on the top of the forklift truck, and some peppy little police officer says, "I've got an idea. I've got some glue here, because it's in a warehouse. So I've got some glue here. We'll just glue him onto the top of the forklift truck." So the whole premise of the series is it's a half policeman, half forklift truck.
I think it's a hit. I think it's a hit.
What are some of those catchphrases from it?
Well, a lot of it was born out of catchphrases as well. So I kind of came up with the catchphrases at the same time as coming in. So there's "Get the fork out of here." There's "Fork Cop," "Lift crime from the streets." "Fork off." And you're laughing.
It's good.
He's crying inside.
See, the thing is, though, with Gene thought, I'll make fun of Stuart and everything else. And so he sent me this over for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. What's his name? And did he have an actual name, or it's just Fork Cop?
Yeah, he was Officer Ramirez.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I've written a very in-depth, premise for it.
I think
every base is covered.
Do you see it as a series or a film?
A series, because in the police station, what they did is they keep his leg in some ice, and at the last episode they'll figure out a way to just stick them back on.
Hey, wait! Listen to this. His legs can be his sidekick.
Oh. No.
Come on, sidekick.
All right, let's. I think we should move on to some other.
Let's see some
other
art.
aspects of our friend here. Yes. Okay. So, can you tell us a little something about, speaking of trucks?
Yes, I can. I designed that character years ago. It was designed for a kids charity. It was an icon, just for a throwaway character, and eventually the company used it. And you probably don't get it over there or even recognise the machine.
I love the design. I don't know it though.
It's huge in the UK.
Oh right.
Yeah, it's a big character. It's got a line of toys. And
what's it called?
T-shirts and it's Joey JCB.
Joey JCB.
I would like it.
Hey, Joey.
I would like it more with half of a cop on top of it.
But the thing is, yeah, I pitched that.
Tell us about that. What is this from?
Well, I used to work for the Lego company from 2009 till about 2017 as a freelance artist. And I did a lot of the Lego games illustrations. That's just one of the many. I've done hundreds. But the one thing that you'll notice in all my illustrations is because I get bored because of how long it takes. I mean, I wouldn't ever say that to anybody that pays me. But if you look in the background of every single illustration I ever do, there's always something going on, and usually it's got something very 80s in the background. So if you can see I don't know if you can make it out in there, but the crab that's attacking the guy in the background.
Oh, right.
It's doing the crane kick from the Karate Kid with the Karate Kid bandana on.
I do see it. The whole family of them, too.
But the Muppets have appeared in countless illustrations and everything. Nobody generally tends to spot them.
You know, it's interesting. You and Gene both add, one of my favorite things about Gene's books and a lot of his stuff is that there's always a little character either observing or something's, there's they're doing something. It's always this kind of observing little mouse, or it's a worm, or, I love that. I love to see those things.
With lots of artists, as we live such solitary lives, we do things to entertain ourselves, and hopefully people catch on.
Yeah. Next one.
What else do we have?
We have some Ghostbusters. What's this from, Stuart?
Now that one is one that I'm currently working on because when we get to the Muppet one, no doubt Gene will make fun of how long it actually took. The Muppet one took about 14 years. But the reason being, and I will defend myself, is the fact that people really liked the Muppet one to begin with, and I ended up very busy because of it. So I'd spend a couple of minutes a year doing it.
Wow.
Now, hopefully, my doctor seems quite positive that I'll live the next 14 years, so I thought I'd just start another one. And so I started a Ghostbusters illustration. So these are just a few aspects of it. It's
so these are
an ambitious piece.
But what I was just going to say is, can you describe what the overall setting is, or you don't want to do that yet? Because I know when you first when you were doing the Muppet one,
release a little bit.
Yeah, got it. Okay, I get it. Because that's what you did with the Muppet thing. That's what's intriguing to me, is that I saw little bits of it, and I thought, wow, what is this going to be? So yeah, okay, I tried.
What do you work in generally? What software? I assume I think it's all digital, right?
Yeah, well, I always start with a pencil. I always sketch it out on a pad, but it's just all Photoshop and digital airbrush.
Right.
There's no CGI or anything.
Tell our viewers how many times you've seen the movie Ghostbusters, and this is not an exaggeration, folks.
Oh God, it's got to be over 1,000.
Oh my God!
For a 3-year period, I did watch it every Friday night, but then that became every Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
And if I can't sleep most nights, I'll try and stick it on.
Wow.
Now,
Love
this one is part of the bigger one. And when you finally show it, what you'll see is on the Muppet picture, there's Jim Henson right at the back of the piece. And there's going to be the Jim Henson in puppet form, Frank Oz, and as many of the original cast in puppet form at the back, looking over the sea of characters.
Wow.
I wanted Jim to look almost like an angel at the back, looking over everything.
Right.
So he appears in the tiniest little bit at the back. You almost
I love the
can't see him
design
on the
of
final
him.
one.
I love the design of him. He looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And let's show the bigger areas back there.
Ta-da!
I love this.
Yeah, you could barely even see him there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, it's hard.
The reason it took him so long, though, is the detail is incredible. All the sequins on Piggy's gown are done individually, and you saw Jim's hairs are individually. Look at Fozzie's fur. He didn't just cut and paste patches of these patterns. It was all done one at a time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It took a long time. I mean, there is a lot of in-jokes in it. There's a lot of silliness that most people won't spot, like the Doc Hopper on the cup that Fozzie's holding.
Oh, wow.
There's tiny little details in it. But there is a lot more characters that I have started. I mean, all the seats are filled. It's just down to time.
I noticed there's 8 seats at the back of the theater. I'm just curious who those 8 are for, actually.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay, I think we should move on to our next artist. I hate to let you go, but will you hang out, Stuart, for the end? We're going to bring everybody back.
Yeah.
It's great talking to you.
No worries.
All right, I have some good questions for everybody when we're together, so hang out a bit. Some general questions for the group.
Yes.
Okay.
You ready? You want to bring on our next artist?
Yeah. Next, we have our pal James V. Carroll. We call him Jamie. His friends call him Jamie. We have the privilege. Let's bring him all the way from San Francisco, California.
Hey!
It's good to see y'all.
Good to see you. You're in my part of the world.
Great,
I mean, I'm a little further south, but we're on the same coast. How are you?
Well, for me, this was a pit stop. I was in film school when I moved here in '95, and this was a pit stop on the way to LA. But I liked it so much that I stayed. So, yeah,
I tell you,
walking city is great.
I love San Francisco. It reminds me so much of more of a back east kind of feeling. You know, being Philadelphia and New York. It has, like you said, a walking city.
It's a walking city.
Yeah.
But more relaxed than probably Philly or Manhattan. I lived in Manhattan a year before here. So.
Right. Well, yeah. I lived in Manhattan too, but Philly is kind of a relax. It's not. It's like it's similar in a sense, you know.
Not so relaxed lately. It's kind of like becoming one of the murder capitals of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then there's that. But you know, yes.
But where are you from originally, James?
I'm from Houston, Texas. I lived in D.C. for 2 years as well, Manhattan 1 year, and here for the last since '95, so 25 years now.
Right. Wow. So, were you always interested in art and drawing, even as a kid?
Well, I always drew, and I always drew the Muppets when I drew, even as a little kid. But I went to school for film and tried to maybe do a little animation, and I graduated for multimedia, and I do none of that. I basically do illustration. I fell in that with Palisades my last year in school. Ken Lilly, the guy that makes there was a motorcycle production. He was a product developer and vice president of Palisades. Posted some pictures of the prototypes on a forum, and I, like a lot of precocious young people back then, didn't think he was legit.
Yeah.
And Muppet fans are very fickle, very fickle. Yeah. And so I kind of ragged on them like everybody else, and ragged on him a little bit. And then he found my contact information and looked at my work and emailed me and basically said, "You see, I'm the guy. You know, if we submit, we don't know what's wrong with the designs either. That's why we posted them on a fan forum. And if you could fix them, we'll give you some swag. If we like what you do, we'll get you a job and we'll pay you some money for this." And so I insulted my way into a job at Palisades Toys. All of my gigs are pretty much like that. So yeah. But yeah, Johnny, the original version of this, and it was not what I said about him, but before he looked like that, we referred to him as Ass Face Johnny because he did not look right. I was hired to make the.
So did you do that one?
Yes, I worked on it. The face. I worked on the ratios of the face. Yes.
So did you give him his smirk?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, some of the smirk was already there, but they overdid a lot of the details. They overdid. I think they dimpled his chin too much. They did a lot of weird things.
Right.
And it was like it's almost like someone describing verbally what a Muppet looks like to somebody without them trying to interpret it. Right. But I actually got a lot of great source photos, and I helped rehabilitate the image. There's a website on the Facebook called the Muppet Figure Collection. Hold on, let me see what it's called. Yeah, the Muppet Collection page. Sorry, my friend Lucas runs it. And there's actually a picture. He did an interview with me. There's actually a picture of the Johnnies. I forgot to give that to you, but you can actually see it. And he does some great photography.
Something about Johnny, when they first made him, he was built in New York, and they sent him to L.A. where we were shooting. And when he came, he didn't have his little smirk lines.
Oh, really?
There were quite a few things that I don't know if you know of Jane Gootnik, who's amazing. She just has the essence of what Muppets are, and that style and that look. And she sees those little things that maybe weren't there yet, that once they're incorporated, it kind of just adds this character to it. And so she and I talked about a Jersey smirk. I used to say to her, Johnny has a Jersey smirk. And she's like, how do we get that? How do we get, she was like, how do I get that? And so she was really the one responsible for adding these details of character. I'm sure she did some other things, but it was just in the moment. Not normally are things changed, but sometimes they do, and just like you stepped in, even though there was a great design, you stepped in to kind of refine it and add some more to that. So, why don't we have a look at some of your artwork? Let's go to your gallery.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Let's see. Let's bring up our first. Ah, yes. Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah, I got to do that. That's a licensed product. That was through Acme Archives. There's a story about how I got to work for them, which was kind of funny. It was more of an accident. But as far as Itchy and Scratchy, doing this piece, I wanted to do them because I thought there's no merchandise with them on it.
Yeah.
It sold well. I don't think it sold spectacularly because it's Itchy and Scratchy, and apparently fans are not that big of fans of Itchy and Scratchy, which I'm not a huge Simpsons fan, but that's my favorite part of the show because it's funny, because they're the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, but with a little bit more. So trying to make something grotesque that you still would want on your wall was a little bit of a challenge.
So like with Palisades, did you insult your way into this job? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, no. I did a T-shirt design, and you have this in the thing, for, I kind of did. I did this T-shirt design for Threadless that won a contest. It won the popular vote. It was the Al Gore, basically. It didn't win the contest. And so all of the people that voted on it, my fans revolted and just pummeled them for about 3 days until they allowed mine to get printed. And then one of the people that was a big fan of mine worked for Acme Archives. So he thought since it didn't win, they could make posters of it. And then Threadless said, no, we're making it into a shirt. You can't have the poster. And that went through legal and whatever. And then eventually they said, he was like, well, I don't know what to do. Can you redraw it for me? And I was like, how about this? How about I draw you something better? And that's another picture that had the Muppet Theater that's coming soon.
Oh, right.
But I drew that for them, and then that led to more work of doing this one and the band photo, or the band picture that I have behind me as well.
Right.
So it wasn't. So I kind of did.
It wasn't an insult, but it was mass intimidation.
It was people that liked the picture, and they were like, "Why are you doing this? We voted for it." Right. So that was kind of.
I love this.
That's what I did. I said I'll do something better for you. And so the Kermit head was filled with big characters. I was like, I'll do them in front of their theater, and no one ever really. Of all the Muppet images, there are very few of them in front of their theater, and the theater always changes. And this is every version of the theater that's ever been.
And
put them all together.
Wow, and how often do we get to see Pops? I love that he's out there in his
Pops and Pepe. Yeah.
Oh, right, and Pepe. And you know what? I'm sorry not to notice the characters that I do, but I love how you put Dr. Teeth playing on that angle, playing the organ up there on the top of the roof.
Oh,
it's just great.
It's a cool palette. What made you choose that palette for this?
That palette, well, there's different palettes. I had 3 different things. But I'll tell you that a lot of this is a nod to Michael Frith. And so I would look at a lot of the drawings that he would do. And that was one of, I believe, that my Dr. Teeth is based on one of his conceptual drawings for Dr. Teeth.
Now talk about some detail.
Oh yeah.
This blows my mind.
Yeah.
And
you can't really see a lot of this.
I know it's hard to see, but again, people need to go look at this because I don't know, man. That's just so cool.
This was.
I love the. Is it Bunsen and Waldorf as the pupils?
Animal.
Yes.
Or no,
yes,
Waldorf.
there's Bunsen. Animal's the tongue.
Oh, right. That's right. That's right. Sorry.
Because he would be. Yeah.
Right. And the keyboard chin. So good.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I never noticed that before.
How about this? This is very cool. When's this from?
That was a pitch that I did for, and I'm usually not supposed to show stuff like that, but this was something that I pitched, and communication was kind of broken. So this was supposed to be a legit piece. This had not made it. This was basically the vector sketch of what I was going to do, and I was going to fix some stuff. But they said, do a Roger Rabbit piece. What characters? Like, oh, do what you decide. And once I got it back, they're like, oh, we only have the rights to 2 characters. Oh. And so, yeah, how do you have them all piled in the car when you don't have the car? So it's dead art. But I love that film. Yeah. And I actually shared it on the page for Gary Wolfe, the novelist who wrote the book, and he loved it and shared it. So I'm like, I can share it now, I guess.
It's really good. You really captured Jessica. I mean, all of them. They look great, but she looks sweet.
Well, the shoe is my favorite.
The shoe's great. Yeah.
The shoe without his mate.
Well, James, we're gonna I think move on to our next artist. If you'll hang in with us.
Good. I will.
Okay. Thank you. That was awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
I think I hear old Kenny Durkin knocking at the door.
What?
Should we let him in?
Hello.
Kenny.
Who?
Kenny, come on in, pal.
I got pizza.
You got pizza?
For everybody.
Well, yeah. Woo! Is it what kind?
Whatever you want.
Sausage.
I got that.
Hey, where are you? It feels like our people are all around the world today.
I'm in Florida.
Oh my gosh, what part?
It's a place called Wildwood.
Oh.
Yeah, I started there. I was born and raised in Wisconsin.
Oh wow.
And I moved down in 2000 to work at Disney World doing caricatures.
Wow.
So I drew at the retail stands that are in the parks and inside of the hotels. And then I started doing the special events inside Disney as well. So I was doing, everything from corporate events to weddings and things like that.
Right.
And I was just working retail at the time. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I need to follow my dreams and be an artist.
Yeah.
And so somebody on there said, oh, hey, we're hiring in Orlando to come work at Disney, And so I sent them my stuff and they accepted me and I accepted them. And
is there kind of a certain style or an expectation of a style that people look for when you're doing that kind of art? Like, I feel like I know because I love that. I remember as a kid loving to go sit down and have somebody draw me and do a caricature of me, But is there kind of like an accepted style, like the large head with the smaller bodies and the,
yeah.
Or is that something you can just create? It's just your decision of how you want to do it.
Well, at Disney, you had to be really, really careful.
You did
because first of all, you're drawing basically 3 to 5 year olds over and over and over again.
Right.
So you're drawing a lot of mermaids and princesses. So you don't get a lot of chances to kind of stretch out, and because it'd be great if you could draw some goofy teenage stuff like that, funny old men with big noses and things. But you don't get that. You just get, little kids with their families, and you got to keep it really nice. You can't really go for it, That's the challenge, is trying to work within those parameters.
But what do you do? What do you do in a case where their head is actually 7 times the size of their torso?
Yeah, you get more paper. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Nice. And now he's a National Cartoonist Society member and an award-winning member of the International Society of Caricature Artists.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
What did you win your award for?
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
I won it 3 years in a row, but I got first place 1 year, and it was best cartoon style. So that goes into what we were talking about. There's so many different styles of caricature. There's abstract, There's, you know, really exaggerated. There's portraits. There's even people that do caricatures as sculptures. So a cartoon style is something that's very specific, and that's what I won that.
Did you have someone who inspired you growing up? You know, like Mort Drucker was my big one. Who was
Mort Drucker was mine too, and there was another guy named Sam Viviano. Who was also worked for Mad Magazine.
Right.
But before that, he worked for a magazine called Dynamite. This is in the late 70s, and it was kind of geared more towards kids. But that's really the first place I ever saw caricatures was in Dynamite magazine. And he would do like Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and he'd have like the cover. I'm giving away my age now. The cover would be like the cast of MASH, you know, stuff like that, and it'd all be caricatures.
Yeah,
I just love that stuff, and I followed him over to Mad, and that's where I found out about Mort Drucker and all those guys.
I remember Gene made some attempts at some Mort Drucker styles in that era, right, Gene?
I plagiarized. I mean, I just basically. I think everybody did. He was the king of caricaturists, and I just copied as much of his work as I could, hoping it would rub off, you know. Most importantly, though, there's a comic strip going around online right now called Father of the Brood. Have you seen it?
A what?
Father of the Brood.
I've heard
really?
That. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I was going to do this one called Fort Cop.
Oh, really? You were working on Fort Cop?
Yeah, but somebody stole it from me.
What? Yeah, you know, we were talking to Stuart, and he said the same. He's talking about something the same title. You guys should talk.
I got to get on a plane.
Should we share some of your art with the fans out there?
Sure. Let's
we've got to move on to Dave. Let's just skip.
Oh yeah, let's skip Kenny's stuff.
You've seen it all. Blah blah blah.
So here's something. This was a larger grouping of characters, so I split it up into two. But I hope you don't mind. So let's just look at this group because, I mean, there are some of my favorite characters in here. Fred Gwynn was an idol of mine. Herman Munster, you know, he was like a big idol. So I love seeing that. I love that caricature of him. Awesome.
Look at Dwight Schrute.
Dwight. There's so many. Here's the other part of it. Eddie Murphy.
It was fun because I got to explore different techniques.
Yeah.
There's no rules. So I can go, okay, well, on Weird Al, I can do kind of a cool caricature of him. Porky, I can do a version of I can go crazy with Barney, stuff like that. It's fun to exercise that way.
Yeah. Right. That's really great. Lucy. All right, let's go to the next one. Here's you at home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, Father of the Brood. That's what we were talking about. So, yeah, when my son Jet I've got 4 kids. And when my son Jet was born, he's 10 years old now, we had some therapy issues with him. It was a lot of stress. And so I did this cartoon, and I showed it to my wife. And it really relieved this. We were just laughing about it. And so I did another one, and another one, and another one. And then I started sharing them online. And now it's 10 years later. I've done probably a couple hundred of them.
Wow.
I can't believe he's 10 now. Wow.
He's 10. It's crazy. And, I mean, it's another thing. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a book about it, but I've made tens of dollars off of it, but it doesn't matter.
I've got one.
Yeah, you got one.
I love the patience in your wife's eyes and the love.
Yeah, she's a saint, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love this one.
Who's this?
It's very cool. Fun idea.
Yeah, this was done. There's a guy named Chris Harris who has he had 299 Jim Henson related T-shirts, all different types: Sesame, Fraggle Rock, Muppets, all kinds of stuff. And so for the 300th, he commissioned me to design it. So we worked together on this, and he got to choose the characters that are on his fingers.
This is a great one. I love this.
This is I love seeing a bunch of Muppets together. I love seeing all those sizes and shapes and textures and personalities all together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, and the fact that Kermit's carrying them all on his shoulders is
yeah.
really great.
Beautiful.
I love it.
It's inevitable whenever you do. No matter how, I think there's like 46 characters in there. You'll always get somebody will say, "Where's the janitor? Where's the
never enough?
Where's the third penguin from the left from that thing you can see, you know, like,
where's Camilla?
Where's Camilla?
Yeah,
right. Look how many I did.
Right.
Oh, okay. This is from this is actually official work that I did.
Oh.
For Henson. I did a contest, and that won. That's the design that won.
Oh, wow.
Let me grab. They put it on a plaque for me.
Oh, nice.
But they made T-shirts out of it and stuff. And every once in a while, you can still get the shirts. It's like on HBO.com and things like that. They'll bring it out every once in a while and use it.
Right. Cool. That's great. I love that they're kind of raised up. There's that shadow that you're putting under the legs down.
I wanted to make kind of like a kaleidoscope looking thing.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. And then here's one of Gene's favorites.
It is my favorite. I own this one.
You do.
I love it so much. I'm wondering, from all your years doing the caricatures, you have such a visual catalog in your brain of features, various features and shapes and sizes, and so it shows in something like this. There's not any kind of repeat expression or shape or detail. I just love it.
You know what, too, I just want to say, like, out of everybody that we've been talking to, there's characters. There are life inside of these drawings. It's not an expression or a certain eyeball or a way that they're looking. It's all about what's inside of them. I can feel these characters in different ways. Like, I would love to be putting voices and backstories to all of these guys if I could. I can feel them. It's so great.
I love it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that everything? I think that's all the ones we have of yours, right?
That's enough of you, Durkin. That's had enough of you. Beat it.
I've had enough of me too.
Will you stick around for the end? We can take a little more. We can take a little more of you at the end. All right.
All right.
Get out. Get out.
Dubai.
Did he say he's going to Dubai?
I think those are all the artists we have today.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think we should hear from anybody else, even if they're around.
It would have been great to get Dave Hulteen, but
you know what he called, and he said, "Not on your life."
Well, he got to burn bridges,
right, Jackson? Did Dave hang up, or is he said something like, "Forget about this," or did you?
Yeah. I think he said like, shove it up your butt or something.
Whoa!
I think it's something along those lines.
Can you see if you can get him on the line?
Yeah, hang on.
Do you think he said that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Shove it up your butt?
Yeah.
Dave, did you say that to us?
He cleaned it up a lot.
So you hung in there, huh? You stayed for the whole thing?
Yeah, Mr. Derivative is here to follow up all the real talent so that people can be like, I can stop this now.
So we bring you in for cleanup. Just, fourth batter. Boom.
That's the way to go, especially if you're winning.
Bases loaded.
Yeah.
Oh,
how you doing?
Not the guy to have on.
How you doing?
Just kind of staying in, making sure I self-quarantine from everybody.
Yeah,
cool. Where are you, Dave? Where are you located again?
I'm in Jersey. I'm in Cranford, New Jersey, which is right near the state.
Yes,
Exit 136 off the Garden State Park.
Beautiful.
That's
love
nice.
That. What's your beach?
Beautiful.
What's your beach? What's your shore? Where do you go?
I personally prefer Avon by the sea.
Oh yeah.
I'll go to Belmar, but
No
the problem
kidding.
is that's
They make a good slice there.
They do. They have a real good slice there, but it's a young people's beach, and I go out there and I take my shirt off, and they're like, "Dear God,
man!"
So,
Hey, so I'm curious because I don't know if I got to ask Kenny this, but did you always want to be an artist, like at a young age? Is that something you always did? Were you always drawing, or did you grow into this kind of thing? What's your little journey?
My grandfather, actually my great-grandfather, that's how, when he immigrated here from Norway, he was a painter and an outstanding painter. And then my grandfather was also an incredible painter. My dad is a great painter. And then I just liked Garfield cartoons and started drawing anything Jim Davis did. And they were like, maybe this isn't for you. So I said, so I wanted to do comic books. I loved, I was hooked from a young age on comics. So I wanted to go. Jersey has an amazing school called the Kubert School of Design and Cartooning, and it's by the Kubert brothers. Well, they run it now, but their dad set it up. And I said, so when my dad said, where do you want to go to college? I said, I want to go to Kubert School. And he looked at it, and he worked for the Department of Education at the time, and he wasn't pleased with it, for starters, because it was not an accredited school, and also because just being so close to New York and in an area saturated with artists, he didn't think that was a good career move. So we split the difference, and I went to school for graphic art and design. And the punchline to that joke is that the trade school that I went to, went out of business, and the Kubert School became accredited. So what are you going to do?
You took the graphic art education, and tell us what you've been doing for 15 years.
I work for the Salvation Army's Eastern Territorial Headquarters in West Nyack, New York. And I get to occasionally draw, but most of my laurels are set on graphic design.
Wow. And is it true at Christmas they make you stand outside in the Santa Claus suits with the buckets and ring the bell?
They don't make you, but you have to have that deducted from your paycheck in order to not do it.
For tips?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to brag about my thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it that kind of show where we can brag about our thing?
Yes.
Look at that, huh?
This is my birthday. I love this. It's such a great caricature of him.
That picture led to a dream coming true.
What was that?
So after I just did that and posted it on your Facebook wall, you reached out to me and commissioned me to do some artwork for the performers for the
guys.
2015 The Muppets.
They love them. They
production
loved
show.
them. You did everybody. You did Kermit. You did Gonzo, Piggy, Walter, right?
Walter. I don't remember
Pepe,
who else.
Deadly for Matt.
I did.
Right?
I think I did. I honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think I was just so overwhelmed for a while that I got a chance to do that.
And I think you did Scooter for Rudman.
Yes. Yeah.
So you did one for all the guys, and it was just, they loved it because they all had them hanging in their dressing rooms, when we started the show. So you were there.
I was.
The time. Yeah.
In spirit.
And then you came to visit. Christina set up that?
Yeah. She really pulled a lot of strings and managed to have us not only tour the studio, but the Disney. It's open now, but back then they were just kind of setting
Walt's
it up.
office thing?
The archives. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we love the art, but
we
love the art, but we didn't really want you in the studio. So it took a lot for her to get that through. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the asides.
Well, can we look at more stuff? More of your art?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see something.
Yeah. Who's this girl?
That is who is it? That's Miss Piggy is Captain Marvel.
That's cool. That's a cool idea.
Go ahead.
I
did a thing on Instagram where I basically just asked people for. This was before that what Kenny was talking about with the 6 people. I was just asking for prompts, and then I mashed them up with Muppets. And so somebody I think just said like superpower. Maybe I came up with it. I cherry picked the list. I didn't care, and And so I wanted to do something really cool with Piggy, and Captain Marvel, I think, was she was really big because of Endgame in her own movie. So
got it.
And I
That's
just
very cool.
I like the cosmic entity of, and as Jamie said, like I like drawing her full figured. I think she just looks natural that way.
Right. Yep. I like your signature too.
Yeah.
How about these guys?
That was a lot of people made jokes about, like, oh, that's Walt saying I'm absorbing you too, or like you're mine now. But I've read a lot of biographies. Those are three of my heroes, and Jim Henson, Walt Disney, and Stan Lee. And Walt was such a creative force. He's, a lot of people think Disney, there's this image that they just have to own everything, which you might know something about. But I think Walt was just such a beautiful, creative person, and I just love the idea of like him hanging out with his boys.
I think he'd be happy to know that these two entities were there at Disney. I think he would have loved to, like you said, be with these two guys.
Yeah, I think he would have gone out of his way to just chat with them, find out what made them tick too.
Yeah, and vice versa, right? I think they all, for sure, would have wanted to know what made Walt tick. Yeah. All right. Here's, I love this, by the way.
Yeah.
I have this on my wall.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
This one was... I know for a fact that for a brief moment in time, Debbie McClellan had a framed print on her wall in her office too.
Right. That's right. Yep. But I just, tell me why the instruments? What was the thinking?
Once again, just using Illustrator and really kind of embracing the minimalism aspect of it. And not only that, but, doing work that could easily be called out as copyright infringement. I was like, what could I do that would just connect the Muppets to the Muppets without drawing the Muppets? Mm-hmm. And then I thought, what could I do that maybe I could get ABC to want to, take it?
Right.
But no solicitations. So it's just for fun.
But it's, it is really sorry, Gene. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's beautiful. I love it.
No, I just think that's the essence of the Muppets, the music. I think that's what we love to do the most. So I just love it because that's really, I think, at the heart of Muppets is music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay.
Got anything else? You do anything else?
I think just one thing.
It's good, but you got anything else?
I like to think of this as, I'd like to have this as a tattoo. What's the story behind this?
I may have been commissioned to be a tattoo originally. I
really?
I actually know of at least two people with my Muppet art on them.
Oh, wow.
And this may have been a commission, or it might have just been like, let's make Animal look like he can be a tattoo. So.
It kind of reminds me of like a henna tattoo of some kind, I like with the barbed wire, and I don't know, it's very cool.
Stylized hair, yeah.
I was really into woodcut style, like 19th century woodcut illustrations at the time.
Oh, right.
The nose is very three-dimensional, like it's pointed out from the canvas.
Yeah.
And hence the best of the wood cutting I could pretend to pull off.
And then this one I just love. When did you do this?
Probably not long after President Obama's inauguration. I think I was just really wrapped up in the spirit, because I was actually I was doing some work for a Black History Month for a magazine that was showcasing some Black History Month stuff, and I worked with one of the designers on it, and I had just finished reading Martin Luther King Jr.'s autobiography, and I was just moved at what kind of person he was, what kind of person the president was. And I loved the idea that obviously you know, the president meeting one of the greatest civil rights leaders, but also just in having read Martin Luther King's autobiography, knowing that like he was leery of politicians, and while I'm sure he would embrace, you know, the president, he was also like, you know, just keep it straight and narrow. And
yeah, I wonder what they were talking about that day.
Yeah,
it's a very Fred Willard thing to say. Makes you wonder what they were talking about the day that photo was taken.
but it makes me feel like they're meeting in a dream or something, you know, that they're floating or they're kind of somehow meeting in a dream. But that's just me.
I like it. I'll use that. Can we go back and edit that, and I'll just say that?
Well, why don't we bring all the guys back and chat a little bit amongst ourselves and talk shop a little bit?
All right.
Fellas.
Yoo-hoo. Look, Stuart, what is it, 4 a.m. where you are now?
About that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start working again.
You're about to start working? What?
I just thought of this.
Yeah.
Why don't we do, since we've got 5, well, Billy, you can even join in. Why don't we do like a little joint drawing, like over the course of the weekend that I can post, where I'll start it with something, and then you just, oh, Jackson's there too. He can add.
He can do it for me. All right.
We'll just do one of those. I've done these drawing parties with other artists, and I'll just start a drawing. I'll email it to one of you. Okay. You add something, and we'll just go down the line over this weekend, and we'll post it.
Sure.
Next week. What do you say, fellas?
Yeah.
Groovy.
Doesn't have to be anything, but we'll just do like some fun little joint drawing.
Stuart, you need at least. How long do you need to do your bit?
A couple of years, Matt.
Yeah, a couple of years. So should we wait to post this then? This whole show? And
yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Make the show last. You know. When you guys are drawing Muppets, do you feel an obligation to be accurate, or do you like to take the approach where you bring a little bit of your own style into the interpretation? So let's start, Stuart.
Well, I have an interesting story about this. The first illustration I did of one, I can't remember which Muppet it was. It was one of the characters very early on, but Drew Struzan, that did a lot of the Muppet posters, actually helped me out when I was at school. I did my final essay on Drew Struzan's works. I'm a huge fan. And so I sent him what I'd done with the Muppets, and he liked what I'd done, but he said to not see them as puppets, to actually see them more as creatures. And he was very instrumental with how I tackled it after that. So, yeah, there's a lot of inaccuracies, but when you look at the characters in general, they look, you know, as you'd expect them to look. But yeah, if you draw them how they actually look, static, they just look like dolls. So you kind of have to put a bit more personality into them.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jamie?
I'm the same way. You know, with the designing of figures, a lot of people ask, you know, why don't you just scan the puppets? They have the technology to scan the puppets now, and they would just look lifeless. There's things that you have to cheat out and do, but accuracy, mainly accuracy for me. You know, there's a little bit of squash and stretch you want to use, but accuracy is important because it's nostalgia based. A lot of like with you know, Muppets have a lot of fans spanning all ages, and people like to see them how they remember them. So if you take them off, I love people doing stylizations. I just cannot do it. I will start one and it will just end up wrong, and I will not let myself do it. But and I talked to Kenny about his drawing of Miss Piggy and Gonzo are very accurate. A lot of people get those wrong, and he really he gets it. He gets the proportion where the eyes are, how they're sunken in, you know, which parts are, you know, and so yeah, that's, you know, but accuracy. But I wish I could do, you know, Dave does a lot of great caricatures of the Muppets, and those are very difficult to do because they're already caricatures themselves, the puppets. So it's hard to get it right, you know, and he does a brilliant job at that.
Yeah.
When caricatures of the Muppets, it sounds funny as though they're human beings because they have so much about them, you know?
Yes.
How about you, Kenny?
Well, I think the Muppets are deceptively simple to draw. If you just look at Kermit, you know, he's just a green face with no nose, but if you miss those subtle differences, it doesn't look like Kermit anymore. So I think you have to be. It's really important to be as on model as you can, but I'm horrible at being on model, so I kind of add my own little bit to it. But I think as long as you're capturing their funkiness, Muppets are funky. They're anarchists. They're chaos. So you got to get that in there. I guess the stuff that I don't really connect to is the cute stuff, where everything's round and it's cute, because the Muppets aren't cute. They're they're kind of crazy, Yeah. I think Frank Oz even said that. He said the Muppets aren't cute. They're not cute. So that's
yeah.
You, Dave?
No, I'm a hack. I draw something that looks like a Muppet. I'm like, that kind of looks like Kermit. We'll go with that.
Right.
Now,
I love your stuff.
Kenny and Jamie are right. Like you got to really kind of pull out. I like to pull out the disturbing parts of them.
I don't buy the hack. Sorry, I'm not buying the hack thing. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I appreciate that, but I like taking cue from like Jim's early stuff, where like Cookie Monster had teeth. Like make it creepy, make it really kind of uncomfortable, and give it some bite, make it chaotic.
That's what's so cool is that, I mean, collectively, it's that's what art's all about, right? Is people's interpretations and what they feel comfortable with, and what comes out of them the most naturally. I think that's so cool to hear those points of views.
I kind of see the Muppets as an embodiment of a Rube Goldberg device. They'll find the most complicated thing to perform a rudimentary task, and that's the magic of them. And they don't know any better. It's not like they're children, but they just don't know any better. That's just the first time. That's their problem-solving skills are just crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your favorite Muppet to draw, and who's the toughest Muppet to draw? Let's go backwards this time. Dave?
The hardest to draw for me is Miss Piggy. She's her features are very difficult to kind of pull off and make it look. I talked to Guy Gilchrist, who did the comic strip for the Muppets back in the 80s, and he would talk about how I think he was working with Michael Frith, and he said that sometimes he would draw Piggy and he would get notes back that she was starting to look too ducky, and like he understood what she was talking about, and so she's the hardest to draw. My favorite to draw is Bert and Ernie, just because they're so simple. You can do so much. You can put them into places. Plus, they're a duo that just you can mix them up with other iconic duos. So,
right.
Kenny,
I don't know. I mean, I've always had a hard time with Sam the Eagle for some reason. That beak. Hi, Johnny. Oh, my favorite's Johnny.
What? Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think Sam, for some reason, Sam the Eagle, his beak is hard to draw in perspective from different angles. And Crazy Harry, for some reason, gives me a hard time.
James, who are yours?
The hardest one, Miss Piggy, because that puppet has changed more than the others, and her sweet spot's somewhere like in 1981 is when the puppet looked the best. They've never gotten it to look quite like that. Actually, working on the figure, I consulted Peter Savieri, who painted the painting that's in the Siegel Muppets film. For the figure, I consulted him, and he actually gave me some pointers. He actually helped give them pointers to redesign the puppet for the film as well. And the one that I like the most. Also, I did. I'm friends with Ryan Dozier, who started the Muppet Mindset. He works at Disney now.
He does.
And I did a tutorial, a Flash-based animated tutorial on how to draw Pepe. It's down now because no one uses Flash anymore. But I did one. I did one, and it was actually fun. But my favorite is because everyone gets him wrong. But I just love all the nuance and Gonzo.
Stuart.
Well, since it took 14 years to draw the picture, I think I've been all hard to draw. But okay, my favourite to draw. This is actually true. I've spoken to Jim before about this. I love, from the aesthetic point of view, I love Dr. Teeth. I think Dr. Teeth is just an incredible design. I think
not my character.
Just love him.
It's not actually my character. But Stuart, you love to draw. Dr. Teeth is really, he's like the one that you like to draw the most.
Love him. I just love him. Aesthetically, it's just such an amazing design.
Favorite? Oh, that's your favorite. Who's the most difficult?
That was my favorite.
All of them?
That was his favorite.
Oh, difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for showing us all your work. Thank you for showing all the viewers your work. It's been really, really cool hearing all your stories. I'm glad we could get you all together to do this. Yeah. And you're also going to see some artwork that we all do together, which will be a fun little experiment. In another future episode, we're going to all have you come and perform your favorite music. So start rehearsing.
Oh, wow, very good. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate you doing it and spending the time with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Go to bed, guys.
Thanks.
All right, let's take us back to our live selves, Gene.
Live selves, please. Come in. Come in.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very, very talented.
Yes.
Talented group of gentlemen.
Very informative. I love where all of their motivations come from, and it's cool to hear that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I may just, you know what? I may just glue this picture back together.
I think you're right.
Because I was so inspired by them.
Yeah.
And
I think we should. I do think we should send these to the subscriber. What do you think?
We will. We will.
Yep.
That's it. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. Even if you've already subscribed, you're in the running. We'll send you 2 autographed books.
If you're chosen, yes.
If you're chosen, of course. And we'll announce the winner next week's show. And if you join the mailing list, we will send you a digital copy by email of the drawing that all of us contributed to. While we were watching, I was inspired to do a new drawing. Yeah. Would you like to see?
I would. Huh. I wonder who that could be.
I don't know. It's just I was just kind of going.
The nose is small.
It's accurate.
It's
doing
me.
a little puppet hand.
Oh.
You've got Henry on the T-shirt there.
Oh, tell me about Henry real quick.
He was just one of my early cartoon characters.
Well, maybe we both could sign that somehow, and that could be another giveaway. If we're giving away.
Who would we give this away
I don't know.
to?
Let's think about it. Let's save it.
Okay. Maybe not in this show, but future show. Because look, I just signed it.
Where?
Okay.
Oh, yes. There you go. Very good.
To go. And you'll sign it, and we'll send it off. We'll do that as part of another giveaway. Yeah. But before we get off of the drawing, let's tell you where you can see the drawings and the other artwork of our guests.
The artists. Yeah.
For Dave Hulteen, you can go to his Twitter or Instagram page, which is @DaveHulteen. If you want to see Stuart Reeves' work, you can go to stuartreeves.co.uk. If you want to see Jamie Carroll's work, you can go to jvcarroll, and that's 2 R's and 2 L's.com. And if you want to see Kenny Durkin's work, just go to kennydurkin.com.
There you go.
You'll be all set.
And don't forget, July 25th, we have a very special show with Denny Trejo talking about his latest documentary, Inmate Number 1, and his Trejo's Tacos, his restaurants, and a book.
Wait.
And also some very, very special surprise guests. So you're going to want to check this one out.
You're going to want to. You're going to want to.
You're going to want
to. So,
that's... Again, another nanny thing. She used to say, when she would, something she ate she liked, she'd say, tastes like more.
What was the thing Mom used to do?
She almost did the what-do-you-call guy. Yeah, she used to do the whatchamacallit guy. Oh, right, yeah, no, it wasn't this. It was...
No. Yeah. All right, that does it for this week. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the 25th with Mr. Danny Trejo and lots of surprise guests.
Bye.